Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Sophie, and this channel is chronicling my journey of living my best life with multiple chronic health conditions. Today I just sort of wanted to give a health update before I leave for Cleveland Clinic tomorrow. I will pre-apologize. I am very tired. I've been like this all week. I'm not sure what's going on. I had at one point turned my oxygen down, and then yesterday I thought maybe that was it, so I turned it back up, but I am still really tired, so I will probably stumble over my words and the like. So I apologize, but that's just how things are going at the moment. So first I wanted to sort of back up something I think I forgot to mention when I was talking about the CTA they did of my neck. When they found the fibromuscular dysplasia, they also found a tracheal diverticulum, which is basically sort of like an outpouching of the trachea. So instead of being like one tube, there's sort of an area that sort of pops out to the side a little. They can be caused by different things. The tracheal collapse can be associated with tracheal diverticulum. It could also be a fistula that's starting, which I've had a tracheoesophageal fistula. So I did tell the interventional pulmonologist about it. His comment was basically that it wasn't on the CT scan they did back in October. And I said, I know. I didn't know if he wanted to do another one to see if it's there or what's going on, and there was no real response, so right now it's just hanging out, I guess. I don't really know if or when there'll be any follow-up on that. I'm sure at some point I'll have another CT scan and maybe it'll be commented on again, I don't know, but I did just want to mention that as something that was noted on the CT scan. Yesterday, which was Friday, I went to my rheumatologist, and as expected, nothing was really done. She said my labs look great. My histone antibodies are still elevated. They've been elevated since I've been seeing a rheumatologist back in 2015. They are normally elevated if you have drug-induced lupus, but I'm not on any medications that are associated with drug-induced lupus, as I've said in prior videos. That is the only thing she says histone antibodies are associated with. That's not accurate. They're also associated with other connective tissue diseases. That is not being investigated at the moment by anyone. My rheumatologist says basically I'm on the medication I would be on anyway, so in a sense it doesn't really matter. I told her about the fibromuscular dysplasia, which she obviously wants to know about when I see the specialist in June. I talked to her about my kidney function, and she did make some like handwritten notes, but there's nothing in her like actual note about it. Which isn't surprising. Like I said, it's been going on for years now, and it hasn't been looked into. So yeah, my next appointment isn't for 6 months. I highly doubt I'm going to keep it. I don't really see a reason to. If my blood work is stable and the blood work that is elevated, I'm basically being told it doesn't really matter. I don't see a reason to keep going. So I have 6 months to decide, so we'll see what I decide there. On the test for the functional nurse practitioner, as I said, I did send the one test off with the food sensitivities. I do not know how long it takes to get results back from that. I am hoping that tomorrow I will do the small intestinal bacterial overgrowth breath test. It basically requires a 24-hour fast. There is very limited foods you are allowed to eat for the longest 12 hours away from the 24 hours, so words are not coming. So for 12 hours you can only drink water, but for the 12 hours before that, you can have very limited food. And the only foods on that list I really eat were eggs and chicken broth, as I said, and it would just be easier to do a 24-hour fast than to try to time that. So normally when I fly, I do not eat anything during the day because you never know when you're flying how your GI system is going to go, and my system is iffy at best at the moment. So the goal is to eat a late dinner tonight. I know my flight lands around 5. I imagine I'll be to the hotel around 6. So make sure I am done eating by 6 p.m. Tonight. And then when I get to the hotel, start doing the breath test. Now it is a 3-hour breath test, so that means I will not be eating anything until around 9 p.m. tomorrow, which majorly sucks, but what are you gonna do? I want to know what's going on with my GI system, and this is how we're hopefully gonna find that out. So that's the plan as far as that goes. Then Cleveland Clinic next week. So Monday I do have 2 appointments. In the morning I have an appointment with an allergy immunologist. I was referred to him because my complements have been elevated, and even though my rheumatologist orders them, she says it's not connective tissue disease related, because if it was, then they'd be low. So since they're high, nothing was done, and one of the doctors I saw at the Cleveland Clinic way back in August of last year did the referral to the allergy immunologist, so we'll see what comes of that. Again, I'm not expecting anything. Then in the afternoon, I am seeing Dr. Tonelli. He is one of the doctors at Cleveland Clinic who does research into preload failure and is aware of the invasive cardiopulmonary exercise test and obviously preload failure and impaired oxygen extraction, so maybe he'll have an idea of what I'm talking about. I am not holding my breath on that either. I just have no hope or faith in doctors at all at this point. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know if my interventional pulmonologist contacted him at all, but the current thought is I would have the tracheal stent placed sometime later in the year, and while it is in, have either a regular CPET or the invasive CPET to see if it improves my tidal volume response, to see if my oxygen stays up and the like. So that might be happening. I'll come back to that in a minute. Then on Wednesday, I have some blood work for the cardiologist and a bubble echocardiogram, which basically looks to see if I have a hole between the right and left side of my heart, which could be causing my oxygen to drop and shortness of breath. I don't think I have a hole in my heart. If I did, I think my oxygen dropping would be more consistent and reproducible, which it is not. So we'll see. At least I am getting an echo, so we'll see how my ejection fraction is doing, which is perfect timing because when I come back, I see a cardiologist at Hopkins the week I come back. So it'll be good information on that front regardless. Going back to the interventional pulmonologist and the invasive cardiopulmonary exercise test, at this point I would probably go along with it, but I don't really see what purpose it would serve, because I don't see anything changing from any of the results that would happen. I do think the stent would probably help at like peak exercise when I'm really pushing myself. I do not think it's playing a role in the shortness of breath I have walking up a set of stairs, for example. I could be completely wrong. I know it obviously is playing a role on why I lose my breath when I talk, because you are normally exhaling when you talk, and my trachea collapses when I exhale, so I only have so much air to do talking with. So if I don't time my breaths correctly, I run out of air. Other things that could come out of the invasive cardiopulmonary exercise test, the oxygen extraction, which we already have. So Cleveland Clinic did deny my request to amend the right heart catheterization with exercise documentation. I requested that they put that the oxygen extraction was not normal. They will not do that. Something about the documentation being accurate as of the time it was written. I don't understand what that means in reference to the interpretation being wrong, but there you have it. So I need to write them a letter. I will probably fax it since they did not receive the first letter I wrote them, basically saying that I want them to include my explanation as to why the documentation is wrong whenever anyone requests that documentation, which seems like a silly extra step you have to take. Obviously, if you request for amendment, you want it fixed, and if it's not going to be fixed, you want your explanation for why you want it to be fixed included, but I'll jump through the hoop. My SSDI was denied again, so the next step is an administrative law judge hearing. I have no idea when that will be. I will let you know when I know, obviously. Ooh, I am getting really lightheaded right now. I'm gonna take a break. Okay. That's weird. I'm still not 100%, but let's try to get through this. Where was I? SSDI denied, okay. But I guess just in general, I'm not really feeling like continuing to chase a lot of things medically. Not because it's banging my head into the wall, it just seems like my attitude is different. Like, I suppose that's part of it, but like I was saying about the invasive cardiopulmonary exercise test, I don't really see what purpose it would solve, like, in the big picture. Like, yeah, I might get some more diagnoses out of it, but is that really going to change my day-to-day life? And the answer is most likely no. Most of the things that are causing my day-to-day symptoms are known, so the dysautonomia, the preload failure, the impaired oxygen extraction, stuff like that. That's not going away, so a test isn't going to change it. Maybe if the invasive cardiopulmonary exercise test was done when I had not been NPO for 16 hours and it showed pulmonary hypertension and they looked into it, that might be contributing to my shortness of breath and that might help. But that's a lot of ifs going on because I was already shown to have pulmonary hypertension and it wasn't looked into. So I don't really know what would happen on that. But yeah, most of the things I have run now are just sort of intellectual curiosities I have, like why can I see my heart beating through my clothes? And stuff like that. But I don't think it's things that will actually change my day-to-day life. So I don't know how much sense it makes to use energy to get answers in that respect. Let's see. I guess looking forward after the Hopkins cardiologist, the week of April 24th, I see my primary doctor in May, the beginning of May, the middle of May, I don't know, sometime in May. Nothing will be done. I'll just update her. She'll write the updates in my chart. I do email her updates, but it doesn't go in my medical record, so when I see her, she types it all out and it goes in my medical record. And then the fibromuscular dysplasia specialist in June. Sorry guys, I don't know what's going on with my lightheadedness. I have been rather low sodium this week, but I have not really been symptomatic in this way. I did have to stop some of my medications for Cleveland Clinic for the testing I will have done. Did I even talk about that? I have really bad brain fog. Like I said, I've been super tired this week. I don't know what's going on. But I'm having a tilt table test and a QSART. I don't think did I? I don't know. I'm sorry. So obviously I want to be as symptomatic as possible when it comes to dysautonomia symptoms, when it comes to change in positions. So I've been trying to be low sodium, but I don't know how I'm going to continue that for the next couple days. Because I've been having like pasta and chicken, and that is gone. And obviously I leave tomorrow, I don't want to cook, and then it's hard to do low sodium when you're traveling, but I will hopefully figure something out. What else? I guess that's it. I'm not with it, obviously. But I will update you guys next week while I am in Cleveland. The plan right now is to update you on Wednesday with how the appointments on Monday went, and then on Saturday with what the test results were. Unless I have all the test results by Wednesday, which I kind of doubt. So for now, the plan is this doctor update on Wednesday, test results on Saturday, and we will go from there. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye, guys.